Good afternoon. Our class today is not going to be a long class, as I'm just going to, the agenda is just for me to introduce myself, let you know exactly what to expect, as well as demonstrate to you where to get the material from our website and exactly what type of material I expect to get from our website as well, and how to maneuver the website. So as for me, my name is Reynolds Mosha. And if you're going to be, and so we're going to go through the curriculum as well. We're also going to be guiding you through the assignments that you're going to be getting as well. So if you want your assignment to be reviewed, remember we're going to dedicate classes to demonstrate to you and show you and guide you on exactly how you should approach the assignments. And then when you draft your assignment and you want your assignment to be reviewed before you submit it officially as well, this is the email that you're going to be sending your assignments for review. Then if you have any administrative questions, this is the email that you can also send through to our admin if there's any administrative question that you might have. Then this is my contact number that I'm going to be available for calls as well as for any WhatsApp contact as well. So our next class is going to be on the 29th of March, and it's also going to be from 2 to 5. So the agenda for our next class is that we're going to be looking at and starting with study unit 1. So the agenda for the class today is just going to be orientation, where we will familiarize yourself and prepare you so that when we start on the 29th of March, the classes are going to be running smoothly. Everybody has got their material already, and we're already ready to go as well. So you'll see that, okay, before we start, are there any questions before I run down with you exactly what to expect when it comes to the study units? Are there any questions? Now, you'll see that between now until end of October, we're busy finalizing the timetable, and this is when we're going to be going through the study units. So we're going to go through the learning unit between now until end of October, which means that from the allocated classes, if we are approaching October and we see that we are not on time or on schedule to finish by 31 October as well, we are going to be adding on a few more classes so that whatever happens by 31 October, we should be done going through the study units. So which means we're going to be dedicating November, December, January, until right in February for revision, where we go through with you past question papers as well as past assignments to review, and even reviewing the current assignment as well. So when it comes to the learning units, the book that we're going to be using is called, so the book that we're going to be using is Risk Management and Financial Institutions by John C. Howe, and we're going to be using the 6th edition of this book. So when you look at this particular, the material that we're going to be covering, you see that there is going to be 4 topics, and within these 4 topics, there's going to be 7 learning units. Now, for each learning unit, there are different sections or different chapters that are going to be expected to cover as well. And as you cover these chapters, some learning units have only 1 chapter, and some learning units have what? Multiple chapters. So my recommendation to you is that as you go through this textbook, make sure that you have your study guide available so that you're going to be going to the textbook according to the study guide. So you need to go to the textbook according to the study guide. You also see that even as you go through these different learning units and these different chapters as well, some chapters, the lecturer is going to be specifying exactly which sections you need to go through or which sections you might need to leave out. So make sure that before you attempt each chapter, go through the study guide so that you know what is the lecturer's instruction regarding what needs to be covered, what can you leave out as well. As you can see, for topic 1, we are going to be looking at topic 1. It covers learning unit 1 and learning unit 2. For learning unit 1, we're going to be covering chapter 1 of the textbook. So for topic 1, we're going to be covering chapter 1 of the textbook. Then after chapter 1 of the textbook, we're going to be moving on to topic learning unit 2. For learning unit 2, we need to cover chapters 2, 3, and 4 of the textbook. So for learning unit 2, we need to cover chapters 2, 3, and 4 of the textbook. Then we know that we are done with what? With topic 1. Now, when you move on to topic 2, this is where we're going to be looking at learning units 3 and 4. Now, as you look at learning units 3 and 4, learning unit 3, we need to cover chapter 5 of the textbook. Then after covering chapter 5 of the textbook for learning unit 3, we're going to be moving on to learning unit 4, where we're going to be covering chapters 8, 9, and 10 of the textbook. So learning unit 4, we need to cover learning unit chapters 8, 9, and 10 of the textbook. Then from there, when we're done with learning unit 4, that's when we're now going to be looking on to topic 3. Now, topic 3 looks at market risk. And for topic 3, they are asking us to look at learning units 5 and 6. Now, for learning unit 5, we are asked to cover chapters 11, 12, and 13 of the textbook. And remember, as you cover these chapters as well, please take note that there are some sections which you are not necessarily going to be expected to cover, but remember, we will highlight them as we go. Then after learning unit 5, we're going to be looking at learning unit 6. And for learning unit 6, we need to cover chapters 14, 15, and 16 of the textbook. So we need to cover chapters 14, 15, and 16 of the textbook when it comes to learning unit 6. Then this last learning unit that we need to cover is learning unit 7. And for learning unit 7, which is under topic 4 of which covers regulation, we need to cover chapters 25, 26, and 27 of the textbook. Please note, as I refer to the textbook as well, please note that the chapters that we're referring to here, they are based on the 6th edition of risk management and financial management, financial institutions as well. So please make sure that, because remember, when we were introduced to this the new textbook in year 2020, we were given the 5th edition to go through. But last year, the study guide was upgraded so that the most relevant textbook that we need to use there is the textbook which is basically the 6th edition. And remember, on the 6th edition, there's some information that has been removed, there's information that has been updated, and there's been chapters that have been rearranged so that the sequencing of the chapters would also make a bit more or make more sense as well. So please stick to the 6th edition, because the 6th edition basically is the current guideline, that is the current textbook that we need to use, which means that the study guide is also going to be based on the 6th edition as well. So please keep that in mind as you can go through this. So when it comes to the soft copy of the, when it comes to the textbook, you are also able to access, or can give you free access to this particular textbook as well. So you can choose whether you want to buy the physical copy of the book, or you can also be able to access the soft copy of the textbook. So are there any, but I'll demonstrate exactly how you're able to access this material as well in the next, which is the next thing that we need to go through as well. Are there any questions regarding the learning units and what we're expected to go through as we go through the different study learning units as well? Are there any questions so far? So I cannot emphasize this enough. As you go through the textbook, make sure that you're using the 6th edition. Also, you cannot go to the textbook. Make sure that you also go to the textbook based on the study guide, because the study guide is going to tell you exactly what is still relevant, what is no longer relevant. So you need to make sure that you use the lecturer's posted study guide so that you know exactly what is relevant and what is not relevant as well. So please make sure that you keep this in mind. Now, remember, as we go through the course of the year, when the lecturers, as we go through the course of the year, the lecturers will make the assignments available via my UNISA. As the assignments are made available, I'll also make announcements on exactly how we are going to be approaching the different assignments as well. I'll also be guiding you accordingly on exactly how we're going to be addressing the different assignments. And remember, generally, by the time we get to the end of October, usually the expectation is we should be done with all the assignments, which means that in November, we're just going to be concentrating on revision. For this particular module, many students, they do understand the concepts as we teach them, but when you look at market risk, there is a lot of calculations, and these calculations are quite heavy. So my recommendation is make sure that you get a calculator that you're familiar with, preferably a scientific calculator where you are able to see if you open brackets, on the screen it should show that you're opening brackets. If you're closing brackets, on the screen it should show that you're closing brackets. If you're adding something, subtracting something, dividing something, or multiplying something, on the screen it must show you that you're multiplying or you're dividing, whatever it is as well. The reason why I'm emphasizing this is mainly because I've noticed over the past years, because I started teaching this module around 2014, 2015, somewhere there, and to find that the most common issue that we have with students when it comes to market risk is that they understand the concepts. But now the issue is going into the exam, they become overwhelmed by so many questions that are going to be expected to answer. And these questions, you might find that you are doing quite a big chunk of a calculation. Then at the end of the day, maybe your mark allocation will be 3 marks or 4 marks or even 2 marks after doing quite a big chunk of your calculation as well. And remember, any small mistake that you make on your calculation, it means your final answer is going to be wrong and you're going to be marked wrong and lose marks on your final answer as well. So make sure that you master the use of your calculator. Reason being, the reason why I'm recommending a calculator where you're able to see what you're doing on your screen is mainly because it makes your life easier, because many students over the years, we have noticed that even something that might seem as simple as board mass, not everyone is able to remember the rules of board mass. Because remember, for students who are doing risk management, they are coming from different faculties. We have people who have studied law, now they want to improve on their CV. We have people who have studied different faculties as well, which don't necessarily result in you doing calculation type of questions, or you're not that familiar, or you're not used to calculation type of questions as well, which are heavy. So my recommendation is, yes, as we go through the curriculum, I'll try as much as possible not to hurry through it, make sure that people understand. And I'll always recommend that whatever calculation we're doing in class, do the calculation as well as we're doing this calculation, so that when you are making those small mistakes, you ask questions and I address those questions. You will see that once you do that and you start picking up on your mistakes that you're doing on your calculator, by the time we get to end of October and going into revision, you will make your life will be a lot easier, because most students going to the exam, they become overwhelmed by having to do so many big calculations, and then they start making those small mistakes on their calculations, which results in what? Them losing marks. So please, to avoid any mistakes, make sure that, remember, the reason behind this orientation class is because we are preparing you for the first class that we're going to be doing, because even from the first class, we're going to be doing calculations. But remember, as we're going to be doing calculations, usually the calculations chapter 1 are a bit light for those who are familiar with calculations. But for those who are not familiar with calculations, you need to now start making sure that what you master these calculations, because usually the way they bring questions in the exam, chapter 1 always has questions that comes in question number 1 of the exam all the time. So right from the get-go, you need to make sure that you master your calculations. You master your calculator, so that you know that this is the calculator that I'm going to be sticking with until I write my exams in January, February next year. So because of this, the reason why we have this orientation class is mainly because we want to make sure that by the time we get to the 29th of March, everything is in order. You have your material ready. You have already knowing exactly where are you going to be getting the videos if you want to prepare for the class in advance. Where are you going to get the videos if you want to be, in case you miss the class or they want you something that you want to go back to that you missed during the class as well. So that by the time we get to the 29th of March, everything is in order. You have your calculator ready. You have your material ready. Now we are starting what? To run. Because remember, anything that you miss during these classes as well, it contributes quite a lot towards you failing when it comes to the final marks. So please make sure that by the time we get to the 29th of March, your things are ready. And if your things are ready, it means that we're not going to be expecting any issues now. You are now going to be making sure that the only thing that I'm going to be working on now is making sure that what I'm mastering use of my calculator. I'm mastering to know exactly. So if the question comes like this, how do I do the calculation? If the question comes like this, what do I do now? How do I approach it as well? So the idea behind today's class is to make sure that your things are ready, your foundation is ready, so that when you start building up on your preparation for the exam, everything is going to be in order. Are there any questions so far? Any questions?
Sorry, Reynolds.
Yes.
Are we able to get the textbook at UNISA, or is there any other shops that we can get the textbook if we want to buy a physical copy?
There are different shops. If you look at most of these bookshops which sell the textbooks, you are able to get the textbooks. If you look at Van Skyke or any of these Protea or any of these textbooks that supply students that sells books to students, you are able to get these textbooks as well.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Now, the next thing that I'm going to demonstrate to you is how do you get the soft copy of the textbook from our website, and how do you get access to the videos from our website, and how do you get access to the revision material from our website as well. So you'll see that when you go to our website, where you type in our website address, which is rminstitute.co.za, it takes you to the main page or to the home page. And if you click on student login, if you don't have a user account as yet, that's when you can create a user account by indicating your email under register. You indicate your email address, you indicate your preferred username, and then you confirm your password. If you already have a password, then it basically means that this is where you're going to be putting in your password information so that you're able to log in as well. So once you put in your password information, it takes you to the home page or to the dashboard, and on the dashboard it must take you to my courses, because under my courses, this is where you are able to now it shows you the list of all the modules that you've been registered for. So the list of all the modules that you've been registered for with us, they will be showing here. Like, for example, in this case, if you want to be able to access your market risk material, then you click on the market risk module. And when you click on the market risk module, the first thing that it shows you is the overview of the module. So it's basically an overview of the module and exactly what are the topics that you're expecting, what are the issues, and how when it comes to your access as well. Then from there, you click on curriculum, and under curriculum, the first tab that you see is the one where you are able to download the soft copies of the textbook. So if you click on this, it gives you a link to the Google Drive. And if you click on the Google Drive, you are going to be able to access the soft copies of the textbook. And remember, for Rsk4805, the only textbook we're going to be interested in is the book by John C. Howe. So this is the only textbook that we're going to be interested in. Then you can just click on download and you're able to have the soft copy of the textbook, which is already highlighted with a bit of notes on it as well. It will be available. So the soft copy of the textbook, which is already highlighted with a bit of notes on it, you will be able to access that as well. Then if you go back, you'll see that after the tab for you to be able to access your risk management books, the next tab that you're going to be looking at there is the tab for you to be able to access the videos going through the different learning units. So the first step there is for learning unit 1. And remember, the video is there. And if you want to go to learning unit 2, the video will be available. And remember, learning unit 2 covers chapters 2, 3, and 4 of the textbook. And then you go on to learning unit 3, 4, 5, until you get to learning unit 7. So this is how you're able to go through and access the videos going through these different learning units. And remember, the videos that you can use in advance to prepare for the coming classes, remember, all our sessions are recorded, which means that the videos of our sessions that we recorded last year, they are labeled 2024 at the end. So the videos of the sessions that we did from last year, they are labeled 2024 at the end. Then the videos of the sessions that are going to be doing this year, they are going to be coming in just below. And they are going to be labeled 2025 to indicate that this was done in 2024. And then the videos from this year are going to be labeled what? 2025 to indicate that what? This was done in 2025 as well. So that's how you know which video is relevant for which year as well. You are able to distinguish them. Then after the videos going to the learning units, the next tab that you're going to be able to access there is for you to be able to access the revision material. And if you click on the tab for the revision material, you will see that it will give you a link to the Google Drive. So it will give you a link to the Google Drive. And if you click on the link to the Google Drive, you will see that the first thing that it will show you is just the fun fact sheet examples. Then in 2020, remember, in 2019 and before that, please take note. I'll also emphasize this when we go through revision. In 2020, that's when for market risk, they revamped the curriculum, which means any material that you find from 2019 going backwards is no longer relevant for your curriculum. So please bear this in mind. Any material that you find from 2019 going backwards is no longer relevant for your curriculum. You are wasting your time. Now, from 2020 going onwards, for the year 2020, those who registered in 2019, it means the question paper in 2021, we don't even give you, it's not relevant as well, because that was the year when the new book was introduced, but the previous group was using the old textbook. So the only question papers which are relevant is from 2021 going onwards. Now, for the group of 2020, because we didn't have any relevant question papers, we prepared practice questions for them. So these practice questions from 2020, you are also able to utilize them, because these practice questions are based on the questions in the textbook. And we also prepare memos for those questions in the textbook. And there's also videos going through these practice questions as well. Then you also find that there is questions and answers for assignments that were done in 2020 going onwards, which means if you go to assignments, you'll see that from 2020 until 2024, the questions and the answers to those questions, and the answers to those assignments as well are already made available. You are able to utilize them as well. Then for question papers as well, under the same folder, there is past question papers and the memos to those past question papers from 2021 all the way through to 2024. The past question papers and the answers to the past question papers are already available. Then as we go through the year, we're also going to make available the question paper for Jan Feb 2025 and the question paper for May June 2025. And we're going to also go through this paper with you so that you are able to utilize them for revision. So this is how you are able to access your revision material. Are there any questions? Now, apart from the apart from the PDF documents where we go through the revision material, after the tab for the revision material tab, you will see that the next thing that you're going to be finding there is the videos going through the assignments as well as the past question papers and answers to those past papers as well. So you see that the videos for assignments for 2020 are available. The videos for the practice questions for 2020 are available. And then the video for assignments of 2021 are available, as well as the Jan Feb and the May June 2021 paper. The videos would be available, the same as the 2022, 2023, and 2024. Now, as we go through the year as well, we are also going to be uploading the videos for the assignments for 2025. So the videos for the assignments for 2025 are going to, whenever we do the assignment in class, this is where we're going to upload the video. Then when we go through the Jan Feb 2025 paper with you in class, the video is going to be uploaded there. And as we go through the May June 2025 paper, the video is going to be uploaded there as well. So we'll also guide you to show you so this is basically the sequencing of how you're going to be able to access your material as well as your videos to prepare as we are going to be preparing for the Jan Feb 2026 sitting as well. Are there any questions? Any questions? So, as I indicated, our class today is a very short class. Reason being, we want to make sure that you have all your things in order so that when we get to the 29th of March, everything will be ready. You will have all your things in order so that when the class starts, you have your calculator, you have your material. Now I'm going through the textbook with you according to the study guide so that now we know that, okay, from this section, we're going to be going through this section. If you have any questions, you are going to be able to ask any questions. And remember, the videos from last year, you can use them to prepare for the coming classes. We'll always, regardless of which package you are going to be falling under as well, we'll make sure that we also make the video from last year available so that you can use these videos to prepare for your coming classes as well. So please utilize these videos as much as possible so that when you attend these classes, you are now going to be asking questions on things that you're getting wrong when it comes to the calculation. You're going to be asking questions on those concepts that you're still struggling to comprehend. You will understand it better if you do this by yourself, then you attend the class, and then you ask questions on things that you need clarity on. You will find that by the time we get to October, you are not going to be feeling overwhelmed. And remember, there are those students who have chosen 5 modules. And historically, many students, they end up starting feeling overwhelmed by the time they get to October. That's why you find that we try to make these studies a lot easier for you. We know that your work commitments, we have so many things that you're going to be doing at work and at home as well. That's why we try to give you this convenience where if you miss a class, you are able to just log into your user account, you are able to access the material, you're able to get the video of what was done. Because usually, under normal circumstances, if we do a class on a Saturday, by Monday, end of day, following that class as well, we make sure that that video is uploaded. Then once the video is uploaded, it means you are able to catch up and before the next class as well. We have another 2 weeks to catch up so that when you But by the time we get to the following class as well, you are not going to be left behind. So the only way that you're going to be able to go through this module, please follow this recipe. Practice, practice, practice. Market risk is more that you are studying statistics. You will see that you're going to be encountering a lot of statistical concepts. What I've developed over the years as well is that I've tried to make this a lot easier for students by creating Excel spreadsheets, which may make your life easier when it comes to deducing certain information that normally you would need to get in the textbook. I've created an Excel spreadsheet that can make your life easier as well. But I don't want to go too much in detail, but I will demonstrate to you exactly how to use those Excel spreadsheets as we go through the module as well, so that your life is going to be a lot easier. Because over the years, doing things manually, people get overwhelmed and then they start losing out on exactly, and then they start making mistakes and losing marks in the exam as well. So I've come up with the different methods that you can utilize to make your life a lot easier so that you don't feel overwhelmed as we go through the textbook. But as we go through the curriculum, I'll be sharing that information to try as much as possible to make your life a lot easier. But you need to play your part as well by making sure that you attend as many classes as possible. Where you miss a class, make sure that whenever possible, try as much as possible to go through the video of the class that we did. You will see that by the time we get to October, you are not going to be feeling overwhelmed. All right, are there any questions? All right, so we can end here today. Your homework is make sure that you access and download the material. Make sure that you have your calculator ready. You are already getting familiar with your calculator by the time we get to the 29th of March, so that when we get to the 29th of March, we're just going to be starting straight into chapter 1, into study unit 1 or learning unit 1. We are not going to be worrying about where is what is what. We're just going to be going straight in. You have your things ready. Everyone is on board. There are no issues. The only issue that we're going to be encountering is how do we tackle these different learning units? That's the only thing that we're going to be worrying about on the 29th of March. If you do that and you put your things in order, you will find that your life will be a lot easier going through the year. Because as much as I'll try to hold your hand, you also need to play your part by making sure that your things are in order. If you miss a class, you catch up on the videos as well. Because wherever you are, even if you're traveling, wherever you go as well, as long as you have access to the internet and you log in, you have access to your user account anytime, 24 hours. And you are able to utilize that material, utilize this convenience to make sure that you make your life a lot easier. So please utilize this as much as possible. Are there any questions?
No, thank you.
All right. If there are no questions, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please note, on the 29th, that's when we're going to be starting off with learning unit 1. Please make sure that you have your things ready. If there's anything that you need clarity on, I'm available. Just send me a WhatsApp message or even give me a call. I will be able to address any queries that you might have. All right, enjoy your weekend as well as your week.